So today I decided to use the final character for this universe pack, and we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what the future holds for this game, and I think it'll be really interesting to come out and talk about this particular character. It's Rocko Rama or Rocko Wallaby for today's character ideas video, and this isn't a request. I came up with my own individual ideas and selected him today in particularly because August is getting ready to wrap up. So before I get into any sort of ideas, I just want to probably try to predict maybe when he's probably going to come out. I don't think he's coming out in September. I'm not too sure when his anniversary is. I haven't watched every single episode, and I'll just be open. I don't pay attention to, oh, this show originated on this date and it's going to be that anniversary. I don't keep up with all those dates with some of these shows. There's a lot of shows that I watch. There's a lot of shows that watch from Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and all cartoons from Cartoon Fridays. I don't keep up with all the dates. So just because it's the anniversary doesn't really mean it's probably gonna be it's an increased chance of that character coming out. It probably opens the doors a little bit more, but look what happened to Hugh Neutron. It took a little bit longer for them to come out with that update because they had so much more changes. So we might have some newer changes coming with this update. Whether it's that crossplay, is it gonna be crossplay with Rocko? Is it gonna be the new taunts that I seen teased in the servers? Are those going to be implemented? Are we going to get some new items? We don't even know what's going to be included with this update. I hope it's more than just the character itself, and that's why I wanted to come out with it today, being Saturday, because we already had some fun playing the game for quite some time yesterday. So now I thought Rocko would be a good choice to talk about and finally come out with a moveset now that we're on the road to getting Rocko into this game. Some people have been waiting for this character to come out. Some people have been waiting for him to get into the game from the get-go, from the very beginning. Some people didn't even get Jenny. Some people did not even buy Hugh Neutron because they weren't really interested in the character. People might only just be individually interested in Rocko Rama himself. So, I mean, it's different for everybody, but I don't really mind which character they can get in. They need to beef up the roster. It definitely needs a lot more to continue to have that light and to keep that fire lit. Let's get some more characters. Hopefully, this universe pack really performs well and is performing well in regards to sales so we can get another universe pack because we don't even know what's going to happen. So it's all about Rocko in this video. I really hope we get crossplay with him out of anything else that's missing. It doesn't matter if they don't get any current new game modes in this game because it needs more besides just playing offline. And a lot of things need to be fixed, like aim. Even running into him, someone was trying to cheat yesterday, still destroyed him with Cora. It was funny to see, but those are just severe issues that need to be addressed, not only just with the online, with his ability, but I think it definitely needs to be things like that, and a lot of things need to be fixed with the CPU and the AI because they make a lot of mistakes. It's funny to see, but they gotta be fixed. Some characters are a lot easier to face for opponents for level. Now I'm just talking about the game before we get into the character. It's just some things like that needs to be addressed before we even get to crossplay, and we got a lot of things that needs to be added into the game to keep people playing this game. And whether or not you play it offline or offline, gotta say it and gotta admit it, it's not too many people playing this game right now. So that's why I'm saying they need to come out with some more heat. They need to come out with some fire content for this game so people can start playing this game and get into it. And crossplay is the big step that can bring people together, so that way it doesn't matter what you have the game on, whether or not you have a PlayStation 5. With everything getting crazier now and as scarce as it is, I'm playing this game on PlayStation, but I'm not going to be interested in buying the game on a different platform just to play with certain people. That's what that crossplay is needed for, is meant to be for. So I just wanted to get into that. I hope he comes out with crossplay or with some additional things to go along with the DLC, and we're going to start talking about this character throughout the video tonight. But My quick predictions, I see him coming out in early October. So that's just a little guess that I'll just throw out there. It might not be accurate, but we'll see what happens, and maybe we'll get some teasers or maybe some kind of release date trailer at some point, because we didn't get one for Hugh Neutron. He just so happened to come out. But let's start talking about Rocko. Let's bring up the roster, and I just wanted to get that out there right now. So we'll just go to the let's do it a little bit different. Let's go to the arcade. So I love playing this on a very hard difficulty. I don't even really care about the timer. I always usually keep it off. But when Rocko comes out to this game, this is the first mode that I'm going to take him into. Well, after the training, of course, to learn his moves. But let's keep it on Hugh Neutron, because he's the most recent character that we have in this game. And if you guys haven't seen it already and don't know, this is his alternate costume. His duck cat. So we'll just keep him on the most recent character that we have, and you already got Jenny next to him. So he's the last character. Rocko is going to be the last character to complete and finish out this universe pack, or basically conclude it. So a little bit about Rocko Rama. I haven't watched the show in so long, so I did some research and took some time to try to put some ideas together for him. But I want people to get to know the character, and I watched Rocko's Modern Life. It's another old classic Nickelodeon show from around the time of Rugrats was on and stuff like that. But Rocko Rama is the main protagonist in this animated television series, Rocko's Modern Life. And then something else I found out, it's actually a Netflix special of Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling. I'm not sure if that's still on there. Maybe somebody can clarify in the comments. But now I'm going to have to check that out and see if it's on there. Maybe tonight, later, I'll be able to check it out at some point. But Rocko lives in Old Town, and I think this is also the best place for a stage. But I'm going to get to the stages in just a little bit. But he lives in Old Town, and he's best friends with Heifer and Filbert from the show, who also can be in this game. But Heifer, if you guys play Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2, Heifer is a playable racer in Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2. Filbert is also a character in the game, but he's not a playable racer. He's just a chief that protects you, gives you full protection from projectiles and incoming attacks, except the jellyfish, of course, unless you have the avatar state that can stop them. Well, stop it at least. But that's basically what we know about him. I don't know if I'm missing any other details. He also works at the comic book store, the comic book store called Lots O Comics. He has Old Town, Lots of Comics, Lots O Comics comic book store. So they work there. Well, he works there for the little comic book store. So he's just a protagonist, and I'm not too sure what other information I can give as far as his backstory, other than the fact that he was raised in Australia. Just doing some research and trying to find out more about this character. But I haven't seen the show in so long, but that's all I can really give as far as the story. He's usually hanging out with his friends Heifer and Filbert. Throughout the show they get into different things throughout the episodes, on different adventures and more and whatnot. Almost similar to how Rudy is hanging out with Penny, and then they get into different adventures in the Chalk Zone with Snap. So basically something like that, when just hanging out with the crew, with his best friends in Old Town, Heifer and Filbert from the show. So that's who who he hangs out with. If he's not working at the comic book store, he's usually hanging out with his best friends. So that's the whole situation for his backstory, short and sweet. But I definitely want to check out that Netflix series, Static Clean. I hadn't even seen the show in so long, so I definitely want to get into watching it. And if someone else wants to share more about him, little fun facts in the comments, you can, and I'll be able to check those out as well. If you guys have seen every single episode, I'm not sure, but it's been so long for me since I seen this show, because it's been a lot of different Nickelodeon changes and new eras for cartoons and anime that I watch. But now it's time for the stages, and we just finished talking about Old Town. This is the perfect stage for him to be represented and to come out with as DLC. I hope he gets in. I hope he gets in. I hope this stage gets in, because we didn't, with Hugh Neutron that you can see on the screen, the stage that I was hoping to see, or one of the stages I was hoping to see in this game, didn't really make it in. So I hope they really turn it up with the stage. No offense to the Pie stage, it just looks almost identical to Garfield's stage with Sweet Dreams. It looks almost like it in a way, but it's just it looks smaller. You just have pies and ducks in the background for Hugh Neutron, and the music is great, of course. But I want something better. I hope they really give us a better stage for Rocko's DLC when he comes out this fall. Hopefully, Old Town, because this will be the best place to be in. And some other places I put in lots of comments, and as a we could be able to fight in the comics bookstore, maybe like a short stage, but they can have some of the characters in the background in Old Town, like his best friends Heifer and Filbert can be in the background, and Ed and Bev and all the other characters from the show. I don't remember all the characters, but they can have those as background characters that you can visually see in the town for Old Town. And then I selected Chewy Chicken, Rocko's favorite restaurant and hangout place. See what I'm saying? So they can get Chewy Chicken, and it could be still part of Old Town, but the Chewy Chicken restaurant could be implemented as a stage to come out with him or the comic book store. So those are the 3 stages that I came up with, and the Old Town neighborhood can be shown, just as a little bit of an example. But I really hope they can get one of these stages in, so it's not just too plain, because I don't want to just take shots. It just doesn't look that good for his stage. I was hoping to be in Retroville, or maybe when Neutron gets into this game, if he does, we'll probably be heading to Retroville, somewhere there. But I want to be into the town, maybe into the city of Rocko's modern life, in his world. It'll be awesome to see, and then some of his friends, his best friends, and other characters that you can recognize from the show to be implemented. Alternate costumes. His original costume that you could see from his original picture, even whether you look at the universe pack or when you watch the show, Rocko wears a blue shirt with purple triangles and orange shoes. He doesn't wear any pants. his eyes are white and with black pupils, and he has a black nose. So they can also, just as I didn't put it in my little list of ideas, at least for not this time around, for color variations. Maybe they can change his color, the color of his shirt. He can still have the purple triangle. He can still have the triangles on his shirt, but the shirt can have a different color, and then the triangles can change colors, and his shoe color can also be changed. Makes me think of Sonic the Hedgehog, because how they changed his shoes, and he's a little bit darker of a hedgehog, and the color variations, and then the rings that were on his wrists would change colors. So they can do something like that if they can't get these costumes. And that's just his original costume, but it's just for different color variations if they want to mess around with that. But I didn't put that in there. And something else I found out from just looking this up, looking into this character, he also used to have beige skin and fur. His fur and skin were yellow in the Trash O Madness episode. So I put that in the notes for something to be listed. They could do something like that, but I heard that was changed because of some certain reasons. I'm not sure. I don't know the full story, but I just listed it there so it could be known. So they can do something like that as an idea. But let's get into some real costumes. Cowboy Rocko, he wore this in the show from rescuing Heifer in the Good, the Bad, and the Wallaby episode. So I had to do some digging for this episode when he wore this. And you can actually look up a picture and see pictures of this and see him wearing. And if you have Paramount, you can watch this episode, the Good, the Bad, and the Wallaby episode. He wore a cowboy outfit. So he had a brown cowboy hat like Patrick, something like this. He had a brown cowboy hat, and then he had a red bandana just right under his neck, basically. So, I mean, this was something like it. Of course, it's Patrick, but you could just put the red bandana on him around his neck, and then he's gonna basically have around his mouth. He's gonna basically have the Cowboy Rocko look, but it just won't be Rocko, of course. So it could be something like that. And then another one, I really want this outfit. I would love to see this alternate costume. I didn't even remember this. This is so long ago. Rocko wears, it was a Halloween episode. The Halloween special episode. It was called Sugar Frosted Frights Halloween. Or Sugar Frosted Frights episode, if you look this up. If y'all want to check it out. It's part of the Halloween episode. So where they go trick-or-treating. He goes trick-or-treating with Heifer and Filbert. So in the episode, Rocko wears his really, really big man Halloween costume. I think this would be a great alternate costume. I would definitely buy it if they come out with an item shop. Just a little idea. A lot of people will buy this costume and wear it. And if you don't know who Really Really Big Man is, I didn't even know who he was because he was already in Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 as one of the playable crew members. He's an extremely large and strong insectoid superhero who can fly, make others see the past and their future, and he also has super strength. I didn't know that. So it's just been so long. I'm finding out all this new stuff that I didn't even realize. I didn't even know who he was. I thought he was from a different show. But he looks like he got a bean head, a green bean head, a little bit. He's smiling. But this is his hero, and he's from the comic books. So Really Really Big Man is the superhero from the comic books. So he dressed up as him, and you can look this up. This costume looks good, and go watch this episode. It's called Sugar Frosted Frights episode for the from Rocko's Modern Life. This is a nice costume that I think would definitely destroy most of the costumes that's in this game that we have. I think that a lot of people want to wear this. At least I would. At least I would definitely purchase it off the item shop. I think it's perfect. And just outside of just the Cowboy Rocko, they could do Cowboy Rocko. They can just give him more than one costume. Hopefully one of these. But I would definitely be gunning for this Really Really Big Man Halloween costume for him to wear. It looks good, and his eyes turn yellow when he wears his costume. So it's a nice look, and I can visually see it in this game. It'll look nice. And it'll definitely easily be one of the best costumes, just like with Jenny. See how this looks? This definitely turned out to be one of the best costumes and one of my favorites in the entire game from the roster. Like Danny Phantoms, Danny Phantoms, SpongeBob. You know it's gonna look good, and then Zim looks good as well. But you already can picture some of these costumes looking good into this game, just how the character models look. So it'll definitely be a good fit for him. But those are all the costumes that I could really come up with. I really want his Halloween costume to be into the game. I'm gonna get into the taunts and animations, and I just always play around and try to find out what they say with some of these characters or what their voice lines could be, and arcade quotes that I really started getting into. And just a little taunt. I gotta go to Ren and Stimpy because I'm about to get ready to reference him. It made me think of his eyes. Let me see something. And I'm also going to do that for one of the particular moves that I came up with. So it could be a taunt or a move. Let's just bring him up. So you do this. Let's see. Where is yeah, Ariel, watch out. Is he on the ground? He doesn't. Did I skip it? I was going too fast. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. I went too fast. Yeah, he can do it in the air, but his watch out. You see how his eyes... Look, just looking at this move, his eyes all stretched wide across the screen. Watch out. But I think this could be a taunt for Rocko, because if you look up some pictures and he gets scared, Rocko's eyes could be popping out of his sockets for a funny taunt and freaking out. And I utilized this as one of his moves, so I'm going to get into it. But I wanted to just reference this so you guys can see. It made me think of Ren and Stimpy from their moves from this game. But I'm going to go back to the roster. Well, I'll just keep it on the screen so everybody can see. See, and just looking at this, you just know it's got to be more characters. It can be way bigger than this. Let's just keep it down here. But that's just a taunt that I came up with. And it's safe, it's quick and easy. I always try to come up with something that's quick and easy and something that's safe to do, and that's not going to take too long for you to get a full taunt to complete it, to complete the animation. So his eyes popping out will be perfect as a nice little scare, a little jump scare for Rocko being afraid, freaking out during the battle. It can be, you can just be able to spam it as well, just for some fun. Just at the beginning of the battle, if you want to just tease the opponent, just to have fun. But some arcade quotes, I had to look them up. And something about Rocko that I found out when I was doing some research is that he'll always say something when something is going on. or something's getting ready to happen, it's a dangerous day. But it's just some of them that he would say. This is some of the things that he could say in the arcade when you play against him, or if you run into him. It's like garbage day is a very dangerous day. And then even he'll also say today is a very dangerous day. Just things like that. But I think just having a dangerous day just would be an iconic quote for him. Just something that he's known to say a lot from watching the show. I did find some particular quotes in there, but I just purposely didn't include them for reasons. So, due to a lot of changes from the episode, so I'm not gonna do that and get into that right now. So we're not bringing that to the video. But he says, "I'm a wallaby on wheels," and then he can reference his pet and his pet dog, Spunky, Spunky, or Spunky. We did it. He can say something like that. Those are just some things that I came up with for arcade quotes. And he can probably think, maybe when you run into him, see how Patrick said, something like that. It can go with a Spunky. His voice line for Spunky, it can be said in a voice line dialogue in the arcade to reference his pet dog. I think this will be perfect, and I really would like to see this happen. It's perfect for a little, taunts and, not a taunt, but just quotes and animations. I would like to see that happen for this particular DLC for Rocko. But now it is time for the moveset. I can't wait to get into this. And I hope it's not lackluster for the taunts and animations. If anybody else knows some voice lines or things that he's known to say. But definitely with garbage day is a dangerous day, or just anything being referenced as a dangerous day would be something that people would probably hear him say a lot for some of his voice lines. And it doesn't have to be the original voice actor. I'm not looking for that. I'm just curious to see what he can do and what they bring to the table with him. But now we're going to get into the moveset to wrap up. So one thing I found out about Rocko Rama, or Rocko Wallaby, is that he's known for using his jackhammer, and it's part of his hobby. So I end up putting his jackhammer to use in this moveset, but I don't know. I didn't even give it an offensive capability. But you guys will find out. I just put it as some kind of different move where he can utilize his jackhammer for something else other than just using it for offense. So let me know what y'all think. And I gotta go with his tail swing just to get it started. Where Rocko attacks with a series of light attacks. And there's no one in this game that attacks with their tail with light attacks, because Reptar, whenever he uses his I guess it's air light move, but that's when he's in the air. But he doesn't combo with his tail. He's the only character that attacks with his tail. I was trying to make sure it's anybody else, but he's the only one who attacks with his tail. So I was thinking a little bit about Reptar with his tail swing. So Rocko will have something a little bit more additional or more extra with his light attacks, using his tail for a 3-hit combo, and then that last tail swing can knock you back. Just knock you out and knock you back for just some basic light attacks for his tail. So I definitely wanted to utilize his tail for his offense. So it gave me some Reptar vibes. So I don't know many people who play Reptar as much, but it gave me some of those vibes for his tail, so I wanted to get that in. Something else I found out, he sometimes would use a spoon. He used a spoon in one of the games. I'm not sure, so I brought it into this game and I called it Spoon Fed. Just a goofy name, just trying to come up with names for the moves, just having fun. Rocko can use a spoon to stun and flatten the enemy into the ground. So I didn't just want to give it like a neutral strong. I didn't want it to be something like that. I wanted to really make this sound cool, even though it's a goofy name and it's silly. Being spoon fed, he gonna smack you with this spoon and he gonna flatten you. So so it'll be something cool. He can use like a giant spoon to smash you into the ground. So I thought this would be perfect. Nice little move. So not only it'll stun you, but he can smash you into the ground like a pancake, and where you're not going to be able to move for a few seconds and you'll be immobilized. So it's a nice move that I think they can definitely implement, even if it's not with the whole stunning and flattening the enemy with the animation, just some kind of animation look. Um, it could still be a good move to really stun the enemy. I was trying to see who anybody else. No one in this game attacks with kitchen utensils or food utensils. I mean, he uses food with pies and things like that. And yet, it's just no one in this game has any sort of kitchen utensil sort of moves. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have him attack with his spoon, since I found out he actually used this spoon in one of the games. I'm not sure what game it was, but I just put it into my own moveset, and I wanted to really change it up to give it a different sort of some kind of unique animation when you successfully hit someone with the spoon. And going back to Ren and Stimpy, I put his eye bulging into his moveset. So if it's not part of his taunt, it could be a part of his moveset for his watch out move for Ren and Stimpy. So that's what I really wanted to get into. So Rocko can make his eyes pop out in fear, and it could be a little bit better. I mean, it'll be something similar to Ren and Stimpy's, but his eyes bulging out, it can have a little bit more extra range. So it could be like a range eye bulging, because he doesn't hit you. It doesn't seem like it goes too far. Let me go back to it. It's gonna be a more extra range. Why does it seem it looks bigger in this one? It could be something similar to this for Rocko's eye bulging. Maybe it'll be something almost identical to this. So that's what I was really referencing in some of these characters, and I think this is something realistic because he does this in the show, for Rocko's case at least, and give him something similar to watch out with the eye bulging. So that's why I put it in his moveset. And then someone else I want to reference with the bites, SpongeBob and then Lucy. These are the only two characters that bite you in this game. So why not have Rocko use his teeth as some kind of aerial? So I put it as a little light air. So, or maybe it could be like a strong attack. Who knows? Where he can just bite you. But with SpongeBob, you can hold it down and charge it up, and you can do it on the ground and even in the air. And it's like he does it diagonally, just downwards. He's like, ah. And then she just does a simple bite, but within every bite, it triggers a different animation for her. For when she turns red and blue, red when she pops out of the coffin, and then when she's blue, she can go invisible, and then the bats fly out. And she's very hard to see when she goes completely invisible. I think that also needs to be changed. So you can't really track her down unless she reveals herself somehow at some point, unless you can knock her out, and then she'll spawn back to be revealed completely. But I put Wallaby bite for Rocko's teeth attack for his aerial, his air light. Could be changed, but definitely wanted to utilize his teeth to be able to be a devastating force. Now, a unique projectile, I'm just referencing some of these characters. It made me think about it. It could be in the same speed of how Michelangelo really plays and he's implements in this game for his pizza that he throws around. Make mine a double. Some of the voice lines, just how he throws those different. He throws a full stack of pizza. There's no one in this game that throws books. So I thought, why not have Rocko throw some of his comic books? Maybe some of the comic books from the store, from Lots of Comics. That could probably be changed. Maybe Lots of Comics could be the name of this move. But I put really big comic books. So he throws some of the comic books as a projectile attack. So that can travel across the screen. So I thought this would be, maybe it could be the similar speed as how Michelangelo throws the full stacks of pizza. I thought this would be something that could be utilized. And then, I mean, some other people have projectile attacks like Danny Phantom, but I think the comic books would really be a nice little something different as a projectile attack if they give him one. Not saying he needs one. Rocko can definitely be lethal without a projectile attack. So I definitely have fun just coming up with this idea as a projectile move. Really big comic books, or they could put lots of comics. But his recovery, I don't know. with Hugh Neutron's pogo stick, it made me think of how he can, the height that he can get from his jackhammer. So I wanted to at least put his jackhammer into his moveset. I mean, it's part of his hobby, but it could have been part of his offense, his offensive capabilities, but I just didn't want to put it in there. So maybe he can potentially attack, obviously with his jackhammer, to do some serious damage for more strong attacks, and maybe it could be a running attack when he's riding a jackhammer. I just wanted to do it. Riding a jackhammer across the screen, that could be a potential running attack for him. But I put it in as his recovery for my own idea, a jackhammer ride where he can ride his jackhammer briefly to get back into the fight. And then not only is it just going to be, oh, it's just a regular recovery move, like this can also inflict damage upon contact because he's still on a working, functioning jackhammer that's powered. So it could be something that could be really nice and very unique to see implemented as a recovery. But those are the moves that I came up for him as a move set, and I just wanted to make it sound unique and be different, at least as far as everything, just from his moves. I mean, it's his hobby for the jackhammer. It could be a part of his offensive moveset and more. And I'm curious to see how he plays. But that's why I came on my own moves, just to try to get some ideas for the character. So now I officially can say I talked about every single character that was in the universe pack, and I plan on doing more as they add more for the game and whatever characters that they come out with to be revealed, maybe as teasers. Had one for Jenny, didn't think she would come out so soon, and then I had one for Hugh Neutron way before he got revealed into, way before the universe pack ever existed. I had my own ideas for him, so how he can play. And now I have Rocko's officially for today, so I'll be set for this universe pack. I hope they do more. In closing, I can't wait to see what they do with him. I hope it's just more than just the character itself and needs so much more added into the game. And we still got to get some tweaks, especially for aim. Running around being the cheat code. You know, people are really trying to cheat, but that, just seeing that happen, that's just something that needs to be addressed, and then some of the characters needs to be fixed. And I hope they give us more news. We need some more news for the game. We got Hugh Neutron finally into the game, so now Rocko's up next at some point. I hope it's so much more that is included with some new unique surprises, wherever they are and whenever they are. I hope some of those surprises will be included to Rocko. I hope some of those surprises and crossplay might be able to get into the game, whichever. Crossplay, maybe some of the surprises, and maybe those newer taunts. Who knows what else they have in store for us. But it's not just a surprise. It's got to be more than just one. You know, all things considered, we have only surprises in store for this game. So that's gotta mean something big. I hope it is, at least for Rocko, and then just for the game itself. It's so much fun to play, but they still have a lot to bring to the table, so more people can get back into the game and maybe want to potentially return, make the purchase, and want to download the game.